As the longest-running international golf organization in the world, the PGA Tour has been continually evolving in order to better serve its players, fans, sponsors, and media partners as well. This was seen once again at the Tour Championship last Wednesday as the Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan announced some brand new changes and additions to the schedule as well as the Tour as a whole. Here's what we know so far. Starting off with a new and improved PGA. 4 key items highlighted Wednesday's announcement, which built upon the innovations introduced earlier this year to bring the game's top players together more often. Top players from the PGA Tour are committing to compete in at least 20 events starting next season, including 12 elevated tournaments that will have average purses of $20 million, Commissioner Jay Monahan announced Wednesday. Players will then choose 3 other PGA Tour events to add to their schedules as the Tour bids to combat the threat posed by the Saudi-backed LIV Golf Series. In a press conference ahead of the Tour Championship, Monahan said that their top players were firmly behind the Tour and were helping them deliver an unmatched product to the fans who will be able to see the best players compete against each other in 20 events or more throughout the season. So what's changed? On Wednesday, the PGA Tour announced the addition of 4 elevated events with $20 million purses each, bringing the total of elevated tournaments to 12 for next season. If they're eligible, top players are committing to compete in the 4 new elevated events as well as the 4 majors. Golfers will also commit to 3 additional PGA Tour tournaments of their choice during the season. The players' commitment comes on the heels of a players-only meeting that Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy hosted last week at the BMW Championship in an effort to rally the top players around the PGA Tour during its ongoing fight against the rival LIV Golf Circuit. The PGA Tour is also doubling its Player Impact Program from $50 million to $100 million in 2022 and 2023. It will reward the top 20 players, increased from 10, based on measurement criteria and data to reward players who resonate most with our growing fan base. Monahan said the top finisher in PIP would get $15 million. The PIP criteria will eliminate certain social media criteria and expand awareness criteria, including internet searches, general awareness, golf fan awareness, media mentions, and broadcast exposure. But that's not all. The PGA is also going to start giving its players a fixed annual salary. The PGA Tour is also launching an earnings assurance program for fully exempt members, which guarantees a league minimum salary of $500,000 per player. Players receiving that money must participate in 15 events. Rookies and returning members will receive the money at the start of the season. For non-exempt members, those who were ranked 126th to 150th in the FedEx Cup point standings and below, they'll receive $5,000 for every missed cut. The Tour will also subsidize travel and tournament-related expenses for those players. The PGA Tour had previously announced it was dramatically increasing the purses for several of its top events, as well as the 3 FedEx Cup playoff events, FedEx St. Jude, BMW, and Tour Championship. Other changes included adding benefits for Tour Championship qualifiers and enhancements to the Sentry Tournament of Champions. Beginning this year, qualifying for the Tour Championship will bring a 2-year exemption and qualify players for the following year's Sentry Tournament of Champions. The Sentry will also award 550 FedEx Cup points to the winner, aligning it with the player-hosted invitationals and World Golf Championships. Finally, players will earn life membership immediately upon reaching 20 wins, eliminating the requirement for 15 years of membership. LIV Golf officials responded to the PGA Tour's changes in a statement saying, "LIV Golf is clearly the best thing that's ever happened to help the careers of professional golfers." However, even after all these changes, LIV golfers will not be allowed to return to the PGA. Monahan stated LIV golfers won't be allowed back on the PGA Tour after they were banned in June from moving to the Breakaway Tour. Asked if LIV golf players who were impressed by the changes to the PGA Tour would be welcomed back, Monahan said, "No, they've joined the LIV Golf Series, they've made that commitment, and many have made a multi-year commitment." McIlroy also said that he had spoken to Cameron Smith, who has been strongly linked with joining LIV 2 days after the Australian beat him to the Open Championship at St. Andrews. He explained that he didn't care if players left or not, as it made no difference to him, but he still wanted people to make a decision that was completely informed. To be fair, the main reason many of the players who had defected over to the rival circuit was because the PGA was missing all of the features that it has just now decided to implement. This is why it's pretty strange, to say the least, for them to acknowledge that they'd been undervaluing their players, but still not accept the golfers who left them for that reason. Meanwhile, there were also some other major developments discussed at the meeting. McIlroy also revealed some of the details about his upcoming joint venture with Woods. They discussed a new form of the tournament where 6 3-man teams would compete in a so-called high-tech league, playing 18-hole contests, which would only take around 2 hours to complete. These events would be be in partnership with the PGA and complement the new schedule rather than cause conflict between events. These tournaments are reportedly set to launch in the 2024 season and will run from January all the way to March, with a grand finale scheduled for later in the season. The idea was presented as a long-term opportunity for players to make their name in the tour and has been planned to be privately funded through corporate partnerships and sponsors. The proposal was apparently well received by all the players who attended the meeting, and the plan has been passed along to the PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan. It looks like even the tour chief is apparently on board with the new suggestions and had worked out the details on the format of the event, its potential participants, the experiential elements of the tournaments, and the location for the events before the Tour Championship at East Lake this week. Meanwhile, in other golf-related news, first up, Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy launch a brand new tech-infused golf league. Golf's dynamic duo are launching a tech-infused golf league in partnership with the PGA Tour that will have players competing on 6 three-man teams in 15 regular season matches and a playoff starting in January 2024. The new league, TGL, will feature 2-hour, 18-hole matches on a virtual course. The matches will take place in prime time on Monday nights in a custom-made venue in a yet-to-be-determined location. Renderings released Wednesday by TGL indicate that the venues will feature a simulator that players will hit longer shots into, along with an authentic green area for chipping and putting. The matches will probably be played between January and April, and each of the 6 teams will compete 5 times during the 15-week schedule. McIlroy said Woods, 46, planned to compete in the matches. Woods played in only 3 tournaments this season while recovering from serious injuries he suffered in a car wreck outside Los Angeles in February 2021. In a statement, Woods called the league the next evolution within professional golf. Next up, Patrick Cantlay is trying to defend his FedEx Cup. Cantlay, who successfully defended his BMW Championship title last week, is trying to become the first player to win the FedEx Cup in back-to-back seasons. Not even Tiger Woods did it. Cantlay started the 2021 Tour Championship 2 strokes ahead of Tony Finau. He'll start this week's tournament 2 strokes behind world number 1 golfer Scottie Scheffler. Cantlay, who is ranked 3rd in the world, called this season a grind. He had 11 top 10 finishes and 19 tour starts, but didn't pick up his first individual victory until last week at Wilmington Country Club in Delaware. He teamed up with good friend Xander Schauffele to win the Zurich Classic of New Orleans in late April. And lastly, Open champion and golf course architect Tom Weiskopf dies at 79. Tom Weiskopf's golf skill went far beyond his 16 victories on the PGA Tour and his lone major at Troon in the Open Championship. He was always candid, often outspoken, and unfailingly accurate in the television booth. He found even greater success designing golf courses. Weiskopf died Saturday at his home in Big Sky, Montana at the age of 79, his wife said. He was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in December 2020. Lori Weiskopf said Tom was working last week at the club at Spanish Peaks and attended a legacy luncheon at the Signature Club where he was designing the Legacy Tom's 10, a collection of his 10 favorite par 3s. Weiskopf was plenty good in so many areas, and yet he often said that he didn't make the most out of his talent. He attributed much of that to drinking, which he once said ruined his golf career. He gave up alcohol in 2000 and considered that one of his greatest victories. Among the 80 courses Weiskopf designed were Loch Lomond in Scotland, and in 2016, a renovation of the North Course at Torrey Pines that fit his standard, challenging at the highest level and enjoyable for all. That's a wrap for this video. What do you think about these new changes? And will they be enough to combat the LIV threat? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.